What's up, nerds? I'm Greg.
I'm Groot.
Nice. I wasn't expecting it. What's up, nerds? I'm Greg.
And I'm Donald.
And this is our second edition of our comic club. We're going to tell you guys about some comics we think you should be reading that are pretty good, and we enjoy them, so hopefully you enjoy them too. And why don't you start off?
All right. I'm going to actually be doing two books since Kyle can't be here today, so I'm going to be doing two books. But the first one I got is a book by Boombox Comics or whatever they're called The Midas Flesh. And if you ever heard of the Midas touch, it's about this guy Midas who, he gets some kind of power where anything he touches turns to gold, and yeah, seems pretty nice. Well, in this book, there's I guess it takes place off Earth, so there are humans past Earth already, but you don't really know where they're from because Earth seems like a really primitive. In this story, Earth seems like a really primitive planet and everything. The way they went about it, and what happens is, King Midas is there. Obviously, he somehow manages to get a power to turn everything he touches to gold. But instead of everything he touches, it's everything he's touched. So anything he's touched turns to gold. Damn. So literally, it sets off a complete chain reaction that turns the entire planet into gold. Everything on the planet, anything that touches the planet, is gold, solid gold, except for his body, of course. And the government covered it up because they didn't want anyone to know about this because this is kind of a big deal.
Yeah. And
so what happens is like a raggedy group of, they seem like students. They seem really young, and they save up a bunch of money, get this ship, and they figure out, they realize, hey, there's this planet that just all of a sudden went missing. They do some digging, find out about it, and decide, we're going to go over there. And they're kind of like rebels, because the government, the Alliance kind of faction in this series isn't good.
Okay.
They're kind of like tyrants. They're taking over everything. Mm-hmm. And they're like a part of that little rebel faction, and they want to go to this planet and find out how they could turn this against the Alliance faction. So they go there, and they basically try to they want to take this and weaponize it, use it against the Alliance. And it's an 8-issue miniseries. This is the first trade paperback is the first 4, and I actually have 5 through 8. I just haven't had a chance to finish the series yet. But
okay.
from this, it's pretty cool. It's a really interesting concept when you think about it,
yeah.
And it's very dialogue heavy though. There's a lot to read in this series.
Okay,
but it's cool. It's an interesting concept by far. I definitely want to see where it ends up.
Guy touches something and they touch something else, and it just spreads like wildfire, and everything turns to gold.
Yeah, but if they take a part of his body and it touches anything anywhere else, same thing happens.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's why they want to try to weaponize it and use it against the Alliance faction. Yeah.
Sounds pretty good. I have to read that one.
What about you?
Being the Marvel guy, because that's all I read, because I'm a loser, I'm going to talk about a part of the Axis event, which, if you don't know, it's a big event that happened, and it pretty much turned all your favorite villains into superheroes and all your favorite heroes into villains. And that's pretty much how the event went. They did a lot of mini-series off the Axis event, one of them being Carnage, where Carnage tries to be a superhero, and it happens to be hilarious. And there's only 3 books to it, and it's really a quick read, but it's hilarious just to see Cletus Cassidy, with Carnage, a psycho serial killer, murderer, trying to be a hero and be a nice guy, and everybody's terrified of him, and it's pretty much it. The artwork is just funny because you just see him with his teeth and his face, and people are freaked out, but he's just trying to be a good guy. Thinks he's like Spider-Man, but he's not. Mm-hmm. But apparently it did so well and it sold so well that they're actually thinking about doing another series of Carnage.
Yeah, I was about to ask you that because I wanted to pick that up.
Yeah,
Carnage was always one of my favorite villains.
He's my favorite. Yeah,
seeing that twist seems like it'd be pretty interesting.
It's pretty funny. They also did Hobgoblin, which was not as interesting. It was kind of boring actually. But Carnage was hilarious, so it's definitely worth the read. And so is the Axis event if you haven't done that too, because that's great.
Oh yeah.
So what else you got?
And my second book is an image book called Rat Queens. Now I remember seeing this, and I didn't know what to think about it. So I waited on it until finally I decided, what the hell, I'm looking for something new to read, and I picked up Rat Queens. Very happy I did, because it is hilarious and is awesome. Now picture, it's in a kind of like, it's a fantasy world, kind of like a D&D world. There's goblins, orcs, dragons, halfling, kind of everything you could picture in a fantasy world. It's in there, and there's basically like a bunch of different groups of like adventurers, like dungeon crawler, whatever, like in a typical Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing. You just have a bunch of different groups of adventurers who go on quests to find loot and all this stuff. And it mainly focuses on the Rat Queens, which is a group of four female adventurers. They have a witch doctor kind of woman, a sorcerer, a knight, and a thief kind of. Okay. And it is the funniest. There's some of the funniest dialogue in this series, because it's like picture D&D, or not necessarily D&D, but like combat fighting dragons and golems and all this crazy stuff, and they talk like a modern day sailor, so they're cursing all over the place, like and the things they allude to, like the halfling thief, she's constantly, her diet is candy and drugs, like it's just hilarious. Like,
sounds good.
The I can't think of the word, but the way everything all fits together and the way the story's told, is pretty good. Now at the end of the first trade paperback, like it just kind of starts off with the story. So I don't know where the story's actually going. This goes up to like issues 1 through 5, I believe, and I have every issue aside from 6, and I can't find it. It's always sold out wherever I try to go, online or anything. So I'm kind of stuck in the I'm kind of stuck. I want to finish reading it, and I can't. And I'm missing one issue.
If you have issue 6, he will buy it.
Yeah, I will suck your for an issue 6 of Rat Queens.
All right then.
I mean. Within reason, of course.
All right, must be a good comic then.
It is. It's hilarious. If you like fantasy and you like humor, it's the perfect combination of the two, and I really enjoy it, and I really wanna catch up with it.
All right. Well, maybe I'll have to read it too if you get issue 6, so I don't have to look for it too. So,
well, paperback 2 should be out within the next 4 months. Okay. So,
well. That's it for the second edition of our comic club, and stay tuned for more. Check out the site nerdunderground.net.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. There's gonna be a lot more of these comic clubs. We're gonna try to stick to a Sunday release schedule for these. So every Sunday we're gonna try to put out a new comic club for you guys,
so you can catch up on something good or find a different comic you might have not heard of before,
or comics, manga, whether it be new, old, famous, or unknown. Anything we find that we feel like we want to share with you guys, we will.
All right. So, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.
See ya.